Howdy, y'all. I was asked by Bruce Todd, old school hobo. He's actually gave me my moniker. Anyway, man, uh, he's the only reason I am in this community. Otherwise, I'd still be riding solo and messing everything up, like y'all saw in my earlier videos and stuff like that. But Bruce Todd hit me up and asked me to explain where I'm coming from, why I started riding trains. You know, it's been over 3 months now. I've been at it. It was a progression of things for sure. I was a big time workaholic before the pandemic hit. I'd be working 80, 90 hour weeks between two jobs doing computer programming and like software engineering and bartending being my main gig. But yeah, I woke up one day after the pandemic when I lost both my jobs, and I realized that I was just pretty much waiting to die. You know, as morbid as that sounds to say, and I don't mean to be depressing here at all, but that's basically what I was doing. I was just working myself to death and didn't see a problem with it. No one ever sits you down and says, hey, you're working too much and you're missing out on life. I think I took 3 days vacation in 20 years of working. So I was definitely due for some me time. But I started doing strictly software engineering after the pandemic, working from home, seeing the worst of people online. You know, on social media, you see the worst of people, and it kind of sticks out to you. My human interactions were limited to when I was going hiking and stuff like that. I was a big hiker, big into bushcraft, Boy Scout and all that. Love the outdoors. But I started to figure out how I'm going to get across the country. I know I wanted to see the country, and I knew I couldn't afford to pay for planes and Amtrak or Greyhound it across. I knew there was no way in hell. So I figured I would hitchhike, and then like it's a pandemic, it's going to be hard to get a ride, and it still is hard to get a ride. You know, you can get them, but you gotta wait. You know, it's a waiting game. Then I figured, screw it, I'm just going to walk. I'm going to walk across this whole country. You know, I'll just grab a wagon and go. And I started looking into that. I started looking into travel. I started learning how to get the hell out of New England for a little while. And I bumped into Shoestrings channel on YouTube, and I bumped into Stove the Hobo, rest in peace, all his stuff on YouTube. And I'm like, holy shit, do freight trains look fun? And they are. You know, I'm like a goddamn dog with his head out of a car window when I'm on a freight train. I love it. But yeah, I took the leap, and it was a very nervous 2 months leading up to me coming out, where I was selling my stuff. I put my notice in my apartment. You know, I was letting contracts go for my software engineering stuff, which meant my income was going to be going too. So it was very nerve-wracking. It was a lot of drinking, a lot of drinking in those 2 months, because change is scary, and then this was a big change in my life. I've never left New England really my entire life. You know, only here and there. I lived in Florida for a little while when I was a kid, and that's basically it. So it was an adjustment period for sure. It was a high anxiety period for sure. And the most freeing moment I've ever felt is when I went to Greyhound. I said, give me your next ticket out of here. I don't care where it is. It took me to Buffalo, New York. And from Buffalo, I started riding trains. You know, one pulled up right next to me, and it'll never be that easy again. I just happened to be walking the tracks, stopped, looked at it, looked around, hopped on it, been hopping them ever since. It took me a while to learn how to navigate them better. You know, I'm still new, I'm still learning. But I had no idea what I was doing, so I was getting stuck in these small farm towns. I was having to walk out 20 miles left and right. I think my longest was 30 miles. I had to go out in Ohio to get out. Indiana, to get out of where I was. I forget the name of the city, but it was like 30 miles west of Fort Wayne, and I had to hoof it out. You know, it took me 2 days, and you know, it's hard. You know, there's nothing easy about coming out and doing this. It's not an easy time, but it's a freeing time for sure. But yeah, when I first came out, I didn't know what I was doing. I was in a few different Facebook groups for hobos, modern day hobos, and Bruce Todd reached out to me and invited me into his Real Hobos group, which had, you know, nothing but old school hobos in it and stuff like that. People started reaching out to me, helping me, giving me material and documentation to read through and learn. And how to navigate these things better, how to use the maps, and how to know when your train's going to stop, where it's going to stop. If it stops here, you can jump off, you can jump on the next one after, and stuff like that. You know, all the little things you don't know. You know, because I'd be waiting in train yards for a week. I'd be waiting in train yards for, I think, 10 days in Detroit. I was just sitting in a train yard watching the trains at the wrong side of the train yard. I was trying to go south, and I was on the south side. I should have been on the other side. I should have been on the north side, getting the ass end of the train, but I wasn't there. You know, and that's just stuff that comes with time, comes with experience. You know, there's not a lot of train videos going on my channel this week, so I figured I'd put this little tidbit in there too, so I kind of explain where I was coming from. Bruce Todd asked me the question. He offered that I could write it down or do a video like this. I offered to do the video because, you know, I just got my phone. I don't have a keyboard, so, you know, I'm sitting there on my fat thumbs trying to write this all up. Take me forever. But yeah, it's your boy Troy out, man. I just wanted to explain all that. And again, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching.